Hey everyone, this is Nick LaRue and
All
from
right.
FilmSnobbery, and I am here not at the Slamdance Film Festival. I'm on the other side of the country, but that doesn't mean we can't cover the Slamdance Film Festival. I have with me today a experimental director, also does animation and a lot of other stuff. We can't wait to talk to him. He's got a short experimental film over at Slamdance right now called Nowhere Stream. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, who am I talking with?
Hello, my name is Luis Grane, and I'm the director of Nowhere Stream. It's
Fantastic.
experimental short. Yeah.
Luis, it's fantastic. Tell everyone a little bit about what it's about. I've watched it and I still am not 100% sure what I just watched, kind of. But how do you describe it to people?
Well, every time I have to present it, like here at the festival or other festivals, I'm always afraid to to prime people with what I think, because like in this kind of film that they're like more conceptual, I get a lot of hate, like my family, they don't get it, but I get a lot of like super interesting takes that I didn't think about, or like they enrich the experience.
Hmm.
So yeah, like it has like, of course, like it has like an idea behind, and it's this, it could be related to the pandemic, that we were like really, like completely hooked with a like a virtual like world, and on the internet all the time, and
Hmm.
looking for answers on the internet, from the meaning of life to recipes and so on. So I think like in this, like it's a collection of different, like I don't know, like avenues that this character is like, like searching for something, and then I don't know if I should tell the end, but like he realized that like the virtual world is not where like you should look for answers, and it's more like what you can do, like even with a pen, and a piece of paper,
Hmm.
you know.
No,
So
it's
that's
I
basically.
yeah, I thought I look, I live just by nature of my job, I live my life on the internet, and during the pandemic, especially like everyone else. I mean, I was, if I wasn't doom scrolling on Twitter or X or whatever we call it now,
Yeah,
Twix, um,
yeah.
if I wasn't doing that along with everyone else, I was, that's how we were ordering. Some people were just ordering groceries. They weren't going to the stores because they
Yeah.
didn't want to get sick. There were a lot of things that people were doing, living their life online. I currently play what is are you familiar with Dungeons and Dragons? Like the
Yeah, yeah,
game.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's normally played
Yes,
with
the board
friends.
game. Board.
Yeah, you play it with
Yeah,
friends in like in person
yeah.
usually, and with pieces of paper and stuff. I play on that every week online with a group of people. So even like my fun has been outsourced to the internet. Um, One thing I really enjoyed about the film, because it was how recognizable it was your inclusion of the LA River. And now I used to bike next to the LA River back when I lived in Los Angeles all the time. So I was kind of really familiar with
Nice.
how famously it is not a river. Um, depending on the time of year and whether or not it's wet season or whatever. How did you what is the meaning to you of the LA River in the film?
Well, like it has a lot of meaning. Um, I kind of obsessed with the Elo River. And even like last year we did with the producer of the short, and we collaborated. It's another artist too, visual artist called Tomas Basile, and we worked together, and we did a piece, about the Elo River. But and also, like in this series that I work for kids on Netflix called City of Ghosts.
Hmm.
There is an episode about the Ella River, so we did a lot of research, and so I'm pretty obsessed. And then I'm a big fan of Mike Davis. Like he wrote City of Quartz, He does like a lot of research and studies about like what the river represents and the transformation and how brutal the river is, and it's almost like a film stage, right? Like, because it's like this concrete, like walls that we saw in so many films, that it's not a river anymore. It's like just a string of water that sometimes it doesn't mean like of a human for like breaking the concrete, and there are like many pieces, many parts of the river where like the nature is starting to take over, that I love. So yeah, so like the river like means that connection with a more real world, even though it's not glamorous. Like at one point we were thinking, like for the end we were thinking with Thomas, we were thinking maybe it should be like on the beach, like tropical, like really really no, I think like it should be like we are in LA, like you said like you bike there, I go for a walk, and I love it, like it's our it's our river.
It's
We don't have
real.
like
That's the reality. I
yeah
mean,
yeah
you know, yeah, I appreciated that it wasn't dressed up like this, like, yeah, going to the beach or something, which is weird because like that does exist in Los Angeles if you want to go out to Santa Monica or something like that. But for like East Angelinos, stuff like that, that's kind of
absolutely,
more
yeah.
what you see. I lived in Highland Park, so and I worked in
Oh, okay,
Hollywood and North Hollywood. So I would take those trails, down the LA River and stuff like that, and to get back and forth to work, um, and or just for fun. It was interesting, yeah,
yeah.
and you really created, through the animation, also kind of juxtaposed with the some live action film stuff as well, but you create like this real minimalist aspect of it. You created an every person, it's not Mike, it's just some amorphous person that could stand in for everybody. Was it originally designed that way to kind of be like very minimalist, very it the funny thing is if everyone who knows your work, it looks amateur. It looks indie. It looks, you know what I mean? But it's
Yeah,
not,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah, yeah, yeah.
know?
Yeah.
How did you come to the decision to create that design?
Well, like we use it in other shorts, this character, and to me, it represents like this, like exactly what you said, like amorphous, like generic character, but it's not like super generic, but yeah, like very indie, like it has, like if I have to, like talk about like, like maybe like stylistic or any like reference. There are some sculptures, like Sumerian sculptures from 3000, 2500 BC, that called the worshippers. That to me, like also represents, like this blind, like the paradox is like they're gods, and they just like worship and worship. And, um, so that's like, but purely aesthetically, but with a little bit of, like, I didn't want it to do like or this the kind of stuff that I do for the studios, like I wanted to do something like plain and, like with enough elements that allows, like to move and look and, like, but yeah, it was not important. It doesn't have any, like super important lines to say or anything like that.
No, I understand. Um,
Yeah.
so, this isn't your first time at Slam Dancer in Park City, right? Have you ever attended with other movies or just as a fan?
No, actually, like as a fan, yes, but online. But no, this is my first time, my first movie on Slamdance. Yeah,
Congrats.
and like yeah. I was super happy, and uh, I think I wasn't aware of the festival and how great it is, because I like the first films. I think I didn't, apply because and then when I discovered, like there's this amazing festival with, we just saw, like some of the other, like shorts, animation, experimental,
Mhm.
um, and uh, fiction, that they're amazing, amazing, like stuff like, like you don't see in really in festivals, like I think like they have like the content is amazing.
Yeah. Did you get to do a Q&A after your film and talk with the audience?
Yeah,
How did that go?
yeah. And that's good, like but the same, like they're like asking, so what, I think I got it, but let me ask you, like this means like the keyword morphine, or like, or like super linear, like it's not like the classic, storytelling that you, okay, it goes from A to B, like hunter meets, bear in the forest,
Yeah.
bear eats hunter, mom is sad, I don't know, whatever, like it's like, okay, you can
That's
you
the
can find,
sequel.
like meanings. Yeah, exactly. In the
No,
rest,
I get it. No, yeah,
yeah,
it's yeah, screening in Park City is always really interesting because at least you know that like the people that are there, you know you're in the good company of other filmmakers, but you also know that the it's a very friendly screening environment because the people there really love movies. I remember I went there years ago and I was sitting in a shop just having I think I was having lunch or breakfast or something, and the people sat down next to me like we've been coming here for 20 years because
wow,
we just love it. I'm like, are you filmmakers? Are you related to filmmakers? They're like, no, we just love movies. So like, this is our vacation, like our family vacation every year is to Park
that's
City
great.
to do this. Yeah. And you also, you do some teaching as well.
Yeah, yeah, at
So
USC.
that's fantastic. So my question related to that is, what do you think that filmmakers today really need to know more about that isn't really being taught in film schools for them to be successful either as independent filmmakers or within the industry?
Yeah, well, like like the first day of class, I show the students, like all the filmmakers or artists that I love, like and that they inspire me,
Hmm.
and they're like really like a broad, collection, from Yellow Submarine, like to super, like obscure, like Croatian filmmakers, and in between, Tarkovsky and like, and even like, or even Scorsese, of course, like, but I think like the problem, and I keep repeating this quote by this Argentinian writer that I really admire called Borges, Jorge Luis Borges, and he was saying like, talking about writers, like the danger of all these writers revolving around the same light, like moths, like that you're like revolving around the same
Yeah.
light, you're getting like the same results. And this is what I see, like in animation, in general, like people sometimes they, like they're like feed by the same, like refrigerator, like, and they're getting the same things, like, and I said, look, next to it, maybe you'll find something. And I'm not forcing anybody, I'm not telling the students we have to do this in this style, but I show them, and I said, if this resonates with you, like maybe you can pursue it and copy, like,
Yeah.
and then you find your voice, but I think it's really crucial to show, like a variety of, and that's why I love like festivals like this one, that you see, like a really broad spectrum of, filmmakers and themes, and like concepts. Like it's really, really inspiring.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with that 100%. The idea of, if everyone is doing one thing, it also eventually that pathway will get diminished because whether it's market saturation, whether it's whatever, just the idea gets played out, whatever. the idea of looking for the thing that resonates with you that might resonate with someone else, even if it's not popular, is not necessarily a bad idea. That's great advice. I kind of wish more independent filmmakers thought that way, not necessarily in how they make their films, but how they decide to get them out into the world. You know, I think everyone looks at these traditional distribution options or these traditional means of reaching audiences rather than saying, well, what makes my film special and how, you know, where's the audience for that? Um, yeah, so that's great, yeah, great advice. The other thing too, I mean, I don't want to keep you too long because I know it was only supposed to be about
No, no.
15-20 minutes, but
Yeah,
my other question is, I know that you also, you know, you're involved a lot because you've screened your films and you've done works at other like museums and stuff too. So you probably have either collaborated with or have worked alongside other types of artists. So film is an art form, a discipline, and then you have, you know, sculpture and you have painting and all that. Do you find that other artists are going through similar things as independent filmmakers, whether it's a distribution, whether it's financing, all that? And have you seen anyone in another discipline kind of handling it uh, differently that you think that filmmakers might be able to adopt? I know, complicated and off the cuff
well,
question
you know, like,
as yeah.
yeah, I'm thinking, well, okay, no, but it's super interesting because I think like especially for, you know, like in my career, you know, like I'm you know, diversified so much. Like I
Yeah.
work, you know, like in in studios, you know, doing, you know, like movies for, you know, like the Hollywood machine, and then like this experimental or more like
Mhm.
independent shorts, and then also, yeah, like collaborating or doing, you know, like um, you know, video installations or projection mapping. And I think like that's really really important. I think like the the basic language, I think it's the same, you know, like it's like in any art form, you know, like um I was talking to again to my producer, you know, like Tomas, and we watched like this amazing film by this famous chef Susan Fenninger, you
Mhm.
know, like I didn't know about, but you know, like you know, like big, you know, like Food Network and stuff, and they did a documentary called Fort, and we were like so inspired, you know, like that was art, you know, like really like the way, you know, like the passion and the tragedy, you know, like of failure, and so you can relate, you know, like and I was thinking I want to show this film to my students, you know, even though it's not, you know, like it's not animation, it's not narrative, you know, like, but it's so inspiring, you know, like, so I think like we have to look for that, you know, like
Mhm.
in literature, in music, like since they're all like they have the same, I think, foundation, the same base, and you can really dig into that and get inspiration, you know, like and create your work, you know, based on that. So I think like the more diverse you are, and I know it's difficult sometimes, you know, like because the professional life demands you to be super, you know, like
Yeah.
concentrate on one discipline and even one style, and people want, you know, like to, you know, like be able to predict what you're going to produce
Right.
because they want that stamp, you know, like, oh, this is Luis Grane, it's not,
This is the guy who does
you
this.
know,
Yeah.
exactly. So if you do something different, like, what? No, but what is that? You know, like, you know, I fortunately or unfortunately, I'm not like that. So if I want to do, you know, like again, like a video installation or a projection mapping with a different style, but that's what I felt like at that moment I do it, you know, like, and maybe like some people find connections, you know, like
Yeah.
maybe in the, you know, like in the subject or the theme or how it's treated, but I don't know. But yeah, I don't know if I answered your question. Maybe
No, you
I went
did. I
all
mean,
over the
you
place.
know, and the idea of, you know, you're like you said, you diversify what you do, and you know, by working a little bit in Hollywood, you get, you know, to be able to do certain things, and then you get to also bring that down to the indie film level, and you know, and work on these things that you do, and then you get to take all of those experiences and you get to convey them to students, or you get to showcase them in other parts of the world or something like that. It's a more holistic approach to um, to filmmaking, and it's far more of a career in that regard than, you know, whatever. You kind of have that whole Soderbergh thing going on, you know, along with that, like one for them, one for me,
Okay.
but you
Yeah.
just have a better accent. So
Yeah, exactly. No,
so
and by the way, I'm gonna write down all your answer because it's more articulated. I'm gonna take it. You know, like next time
please,
they ask you, you say,
yeah, please
that's
do,
exactly what I think.
absolutely.
That's
Yeah, no
exactly what I think.
attribution
Yeah,
needed. You're good.
yeah, yeah.
But no, I want to thank you, and hopefully, you know, over there at Slam Dance, you know, you're taking a little bit of time
Including the
for yourself to
Soderbergh
have
reference.
fun and enjoy the experience, and you know, and hopefully everything is, you know, everything's going well. I think you have one more screening, right?
Yep, tomorrow. Yeah,
Tomorrow, yeah. Fantastic. Well, you know, good luck at at your last screening, and
yeah,
you know, and then I guess back to the grindstone, right? Is there anywhere? How are you planning on
yep,
releasing this
yep.
film after Slamdance?
Well, I'm not sure yet. You know, it's gonna be obviously in the on the Slamdance channel,
Hmm.
but I'm checking. You know, like yeah, I haven't decided yet. What would
Checking
be
your
the
options.
best way? Yeah,
Fair
yeah,
enough.
yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to
No,
spend time with me here and talking with me. It's great. I'm hoping everyone gets an opportunity to check out Nowhere Stream, if not at Slam Dance, either on the Slam Dance channel or elsewhere. And you know, obviously be safe, have fun, and yeah, that's it. Thank you.
always.